Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in, Winning Cures Everything. It is Friday, October the 23rd. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And lots to discuss today. I'm excited about the UFC fight coming up this weekend. We got a bunch of NFL stuff going on. We're going to talk a little bit about Tua. We're going to talk about Yannick and Ngakoue. We're going to talk about the college football postseason. I'm sure you saw about that, Chris, right?
Yep.
I'm pumped about it. I'm pumped. Good gracious. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful Friday. We appreciate you all jumping in with us to get ready for a wild and wacky weekend. We welcome back the Big Ten this weekend. We welcome back the Mountain West Conference. College football is going to be stacked all night tonight and all day tomorrow, and we cannot wait for it. It's going to be fantastic. Good gracious. Go over to winningcureseverything.com. All of our picks, previews, podcast videos, and social media platforms are over there. You can find out where to follow us on Twitter. If you're not seeing it on the screen, you can do all those wonderful things over there. Every live show is on Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you need to be subscribed. And just so everybody knows what's going on, I told Chris about this earlier. Our podcast, so we do 2 podcast exclusive shows every week. Our podcasts this month, even with not having very many podcasts the week that I was gone, we are like 1,000 downloads away from our biggest month ever, and I am excited about it. So we're jacked about that. We are on pace to blow it out of the water. So make sure you are subscribed to the podcast, that you leave a nice 5-star review over there, a nice written review, and we will read them on the show. So long as you guys are somewhat entertaining or nice. If you're gonna be mean, we'll probably read that too, because we'll find that funny as well. So either way, go over and make sure you're subscribed everywhere you need to be subscribed. Make sure that you subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube page. Our college football show is live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time and every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. McKinnon jumps in. He said, "Happy Friday, gents." Congratulations to McKinnon on a beautiful baby boy. That's what I'm talking about. First-time father. Welcome to the club, good sir. We are glad everything went well. The pictures were beautiful. I'll say that. It's a wonderful thing, right, Chris?
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Kids are awesome most of the time.
Most of the time. I'm with you.
Listen, they're really great when you have somebody else to take care of them.
Yes, this is 100%.
When I have to do it by myself, they are not great, and I'm not great, and they know that.
And they all know that.
And they absolutely know that.
Oh, God almighty. All right, so with that said, the Sportsbook Review YouTube page, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. You can find both of our articles over there every single week with our picks and what we like about the games, et cetera, et cetera. So go and check it out. Chris, I wanted to start off today's show by discussing the UFC. And UFC 254 looks to be the absolute biggest pay-per-view event that they have had since the pandemic started. Now, the issue here is that it begins at, 1 p.m. Central Time? Is that right?
I didn't know. I don't know what time it starts.
Yeah, it's like 1 p.m. Central. Hold on, I got it pulled up here. It's 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, that the main event card begins on ESPN Plus.
Why are they doing that?
Because Khabib Nurmagomedov is the biggest global star that the UFC has. And it fits more in line with what time it will actually be over in Abu Dhabi and all of those different things, right? In Russia, in the United Arab Emirates, all that. So it's going to be weird for the U.S.
The biggest cards is going to go down as one of the lowest rated things for most of the fights.
Well, for the United States, it will sell more globally than any fight that they may have done besides McGregor and Khabib. It's pretty crazy. And so this is a global organization. We get that. But this fight is not geared at all towards an American audience. Now, I'm excited about it because I think that there is a legit chance that Khabib could lose this fight. But
I'm annoyed that I'm not going to watch this because I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it won't start until...
I'm not going to pay for it. I would have paid for it had I literally, be flipping back and forth between it and Cincinnati,
Yep.
But I'm not doing the all day college football and flipping back and forth to this. I don't care enough.
But you're not going to pay $75 to just flip over to it.
No,
right?
That's it. That's it.
So,
but I've gotten most of these lately. They have gotten my money, and now they're not.
Well, I will say this. They are, I can understand it from a business sense, from a global aspect, right? If you are a global company, you make the best decision for the most amount of people, and that is what they are doing with this, right? They did it for the last Khabib fight against Dustin Poirier. They are doing it this go-round for the same exact reason.
This is not that hard. College basketball is over by December.
Well, college football is.
College football, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just schedule this shit for January.
Well,
this is not really hard.
They are going to have McGregor and Dustin Poirier fighting in January.
If you want to have special time slots that compete with, that want to be all day Saturday, man, I am for that. I would love for January or February or March to have something to watch all day Saturday and not have to wait until midnight. Okay.
Yeah. But, look, we are the fringe fans, right? That's what we are. Because we're not knee deep in MMA all the time. When there are big fights, we discuss them on here. But we watch.
I'm a pain fan, though. I'm
yes.
not a fringe fan. As a fact that fringe fans get this shit for free, Gary.
That's true. Okay,
they bootleg it. I am a paying fan. When I find content that I want, I pay for it, and I am a paying fan.
We've already got, let's see, a couple people jumping in. Rafiq jumping in on Facebook. Khabib Inshallah. And Al Hanafi said Khabib is winning. I never thought, let's dive into the actual card, right? We got some fantastic fights, starting with, we'll just move from, we'll do the top three fights. Alexander Volkov and Walt Harris. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Volkov is a fairly sizable favorite. He's like minus 180. I kind of like Walt Harris in this spot. Harris kind of got embarrassed in his last fight. I like Harris to come out of this one. Jared Cannonier against Robert Whittaker. This one's like a pick'em. Like it's been a long time since I have seen a pick'em in a UFC fight, and I don't know why it would be a pick'em. I think Whittaker should absolutely be the favorite here. Cannonier, man, he hits hard, and he has he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. Cruz Madrid jumps in and said, "What's up, Gary and Chris? Oh, by the way, Khabib time." Hey, that's what everybody's here to see, right? They all want to see Khabib and what he looks like after a year. It's been forever. He couldn't fight in April against Tony Ferguson. Ferguson loses to Gaethje, and that's how we got here. So the main card, the main fight, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Justin Gaethje. Khabib is a minus 340 favorite. Gaethje is plus 270. Those odds are kind of crazy. Like, I'm going to have money on Gaethje because I think that he's got a chance to win the fight. And at plus 270, that's just ridiculous. Like, there's no reason that Khabib should be that big of a favorite. Tell me, before I get into my deal, tell me what you think about this fight.
I mean, I think it's going to be a really good fight. I want to watch it. I got to figure out now what time it's going to come on. Is it worth getting? I think fight-wise, I think Gaethje can fight with him.
Yes. So Gaethje doesn't – here's the one thing that scares me, right? I feel like Gaethje has a good wrestling background, but it was amateur wrestling, right? He was a national champion in college in wrestling and all that. And I feel like if he gets taken to the ground, which is what Khabib likes to do, then he might be able to hang in.
Ground, it's Khabib's fight.
Well, but here's the thing. So I thought maybe if Gaethje can figure out a way to maneuver out of those things enough time, Khabib, if you look at his takedown rate, like it's below 50%. Like he doesn't nail it, but he does it so much. Like he's still got the most takedowns in one fight in UFC history. He had 21 takedowns. Like, that's insane. So, he's going to continue coming at him, and that kind of stuff just wears on you. And Gaethje, in interviews, not leading up to this fight, but in the past, you haven't seen him wrestling much in the UFC, and that is because, one, he's got incredible striking ability. Yeah. Like, his power is just relentless. Like, I've never seen anybody like it other than McGregor at first. McGregor, even more so now, doesn't have the power that Gaethje has in his punches. Gaethje's got 19 finishes out of 24 fights. He's 22-2, 19 of them by knock. I mean, it's just ridiculous power. And that is something, like, he is somebody that will push the fight forward, like push the fight to Khabib, and yes. Khabib does not like that. But when you do that, you also put yourself in position to be taken down, right?
That's right. You leave yourself exposed when you strike, but he's the kind of guy that if he connects once or twice, it's over.
Exactly, and that's why I feel like there is a shot for Gaethje here. So did you watch weigh-ins at all?
No.
So Khabib had to completely drop down.
Okay, I saw that video,
and then I don't think he made weight, man. Like I don't think he actually made weight. Now they announced that he made 155, and then he was so relieved afterwards. That was absolutely insane to see. Like, and he's had some tough weight cuts before, right? He's had to pull out of fights because of tough weight cuts. Cruz jumped in. The Bobby Knuckles versus the Killer Gorilla will be an amazing fight. Possibly who can fight Izzy? Yeah, that's 100% what that is, and I can't wait. I can't wait. So we'll see about that. But I am way more into this Khabib Gaethje fight because I've been waiting for damn ever to watch Khabib fight again. I wonder how much the weight cut has taken off of Khabib. Like, he hasn't had to do it in a long time. He has not had to do it since his father passed. Like, you've got the motivation side towards Khabib, right? Now, both of these guys are going to be, you're fighting for a title, right? And Khabib is more fighting for legacy as opposed to anything else, but Khabib is also fighting for his father that passed away a few months ago. Is the loss of his father maybe a deterrent? Like, maybe is it enough of a distraction to keep him from being fully prepared this go round? You think that's even a possibility?
No, that was just too long ago. No, if it happened last week, then we're having a different conversation. Those emotions when you lose somebody like that run high and run deep, but they can't run forever. At some point in time, once he gets into a training camp, does he still think about his dad? Yeah. Is it part of his life every day? Yeah. But no, you're not running off of any kind of extra adrenaline, and it's also not holding you back either.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
That is something story writers want to write about, but that's not what these fighters are thinking about or worried about.
You might, I don't know, man. Khabib is a different kind of creature. He's just
he's not. He's still human though. You can't carry that weight every day.
Agreed.
Like, you still have to go back to work, and it was 3 months ago.
Yeah. No, yes, I see where you're coming from. As far as Khabib just being different, like, as far as other fighters go, like, he is completely different. He ain't worried about fame. He ain't worried about any of this other stuff, and that's more so what I was talking about. Is that I wonder how much this actually affects him when it comes to this, right? There's just been a lot of talk about it. It's come up more lately. Because people are really bad at writing stories. That's true.
So they go to the easiest storyline there is. Oh, you lost your dad. Okay, all right. I lost my dad technically, but I was 7. And so now I'm 37 and I'm fucking over it. So let's move on.
Okay, agreed.
But it's real easy to write that story because it's for lazy writers, Gary. That's what it's for. Him as a fighter, he's fine.
Okay. Cruz said, did you guys see Michael Chandler made weight? They're pushing this guy to the moon. I think he's a beast, but he's got to prove it to me. Just tell Ben Askren. Yeah, they are pushing him. I wonder if they're pushing a little too much right now. We'll see about Chandler. I don't know. He's still got a whole lot of fights left to go. So we will see. I'm I don't know much about Chandler. I've only seen him fight a couple of times. Like, I'm going to wait until he's proven it, and then we'll go from there. Terry jumped in. Ain't nothing wrong with daddy issues. That's how I found most of my girlfriends back in the day. All right, so back to this fight. What is your prediction here? You're an underdog guy, right?
I don't have a prediction. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be betting Gaethje because I love huge dogs that are strikers.
Yes, I agree.
That's the combination of what I like to bet on the most, because I don't have to have the better fighter. I just have to have the better fighter make a mistake, and then my guy catches him, and now I got a huge payday.
It's so weird.
It's a math problem.
Yes, exactly. All you're counting on is one mistake. And Khabib, for the most part, has been fairly perfect in almost every fight. You just wonder, with the way that everything has been here lately, can he be caught?
He's fought Conor twice. Conor beat him both times. One of those times Conor lost, but Conor was beating his brains in and then started hot dogging. And Khabib, who could not see because his face was so bloody, just wildly swinging, and Conor stuck his chin out to showboat, and he caught him. And then once he caught him, it was over.
Well, Khabib, so Khabib wasn't bloody in that fight. I think you might be thinking
Yes, he was. I watched every bit of it. Khabib could not see.
No, I think you're thinking of Nate Diaz. Like it's 100% Nate Diaz, because he didn't bloody Khabib. Khabib kind of handled him for all 4 rounds. But Nate Diaz, yes, 100%.
Is that the Nate Diaz fight that I'm remembering?
Yes. Okay. All the blood hanging over his face, that's Nate Diaz. That's 100%
Conor sticking his face out there, showboating, and Diaz just caught his ass. Okay, I thought that was Khabib.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's 100% Nate Diaz.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. But the Khabib stuff is, Khabib is the one that actually caught Conor. Conor is the striker. And
Conor's a striker, yeah.
And Khabib, caught him with a massive right hook. So, that's the thing that scares me, is I know that Khabib can actually strike a little bit. I don't think he's nearly as good as Justin Gaethje. I think Gaethje is a better striker right now than Conor was even at the time of that Khabib fight. I don't know. Cruz jumped in. Hopefully Khabib wins, because at least something that I like will win. My Giants are so bad right now. The Giants are terrible. They're so awful. So I'll tell you this. I'm not a huge Khabib fan. Like, I'm not. I think his fighting style is a little boring, and I understand. Like, if you're an MMA purist, I get it. I totally understand. But I like the guys that stand up and,
we like strikers.
I like strikers. That's what I do.
I like betting on strikers because it's fun.
I'm a boxing fan. I'm a boxing fan that came over to UFC. That's what it is. So I like guys that actually punch, that actually will stand up and make it an interesting fight. Like, I like the spin kicks. I like all that kind of stuff. I don't want guys that are just laying on each other. And that's what I've complained about on this show for years at this point, right? I have to imagine that Khabib is probably going to win this fight, but, man, it terrifies me with the weight cut and all the other stuff going on. Like, my money will be on Gaethje, because there's no way I'm betting a minus 340 favorite. Like, that's absurd.
I'm not afraid of losing the bet. But, I mean, Khabib is the better fighter. All that other stuff doesn't worry me at all. Like, the only thing that worries me at all is the guy hasn't been in the ring for over a year. Yeah. And that's the only thing that matters, is because you got to fight. You got to keep doing this thing, or else you get rusty and these other guys start passing you. But the personal stuff and cutting weight, man, these guys know how to cut weight. He knows how to do it. This ain't his first rodeo cutting a shitload of weight. Okay, he just knows how to do that. Yeah,
you're right about that. Diving into, so do you think there's a finish in the fight? Like, do you think
yes?
Are we?
I think
so we're not getting a
knockout or a tap out.
All right, so looking at the odds on whether or not there will be a finish or what round or blah 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 blah. Diving into, where in the world is it? I lost it. I had it pulled up, and for whatever reason, I clicked off of it, and now I can't get it back. So there's a lot of betting angles that you can take on this. Are you going to bet anything other than just Gaethje for the win?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Here we go. We got some props here. We got Alvarez props. We got all kind of stuff. See, this is what happens. You can't find anything easy anymore. It's such a disaster. Man alive, there's just so many. I can't even get to a single Gaethje prop. So what I was curious about is if Gaethje were to finish him, what would the odds be? Here we go. Gaethje wins in round 1. That's plus 1,200. Gaethje in round 2 plus 1,600. Round 3 is 20. So the longer the fight goes, obviously there's more of a shot. Gaethje by TKO, KO, or disqualification is plus 3,500. So, or sorry, plus 350. Good gracious. Gaethje by submission is plus 2,200. Nurmagomedov by decision or technical decision is plus 250. Nurmagomedov by submission is plus 185. So you got plus odds on how you think the fight is going to end. Would there be any of those that you would be interested in?
Nope.
So Gaethje at plus, 270? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
So plus 270 just to win. I'll take that as opposed to Gaethje by KO, TKO, or DQ. I like the plus 270. So that's the way that we'll roll on that. Let's go ahead and dive off of that. Let's talk NFL, man. Let's get to our bread and butter, what we know the best. NFL injuries this weekend. There are a ton of them. Have you noticed how many there are this weekend?
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, it's bananas. So we've got the Raiders thing. There are no new COVID issues with the Raiders. So they might be moving it to Monday. And so they moved it up in the day on Sunday because they don't want to make it the Sunday night game. So
yes,
Seahawks and Cardinals is now Sunday Night Football. They've moved it up on Sunday, but now they're talking about possibly moving to Monday or possibly Tuesday. And by doing that, of course, might have to change around the schedule the next week. We'll see what happens. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But there are no new COVIDs with the Raiders. Probably going to have some guys out. We'll see exactly who it is once we get there. Bengals running back Joe Mixon is out with a foot injury. Now, he's missed 3 days of practice. This was kind of expected. Obviously, I think this kind of hurts the Bengals as far as going and playing against the Browns this weekend. I think the Browns are a little embarrassed. But I wonder if Giovanni Bernard is not a better suited running back for to go against that Browns defense. You kind of feel the same way? No,
I think you need a mix. Okay, I think in the NFL you need somebody who can pound and somebody who can catch the football and be elusive and fast and run routes. I mean, I think both are valuable. And so to lose one actually doesn't make you better because the other team just doesn't have to worry about this other thing because Giovanni Bernard ain't running from between the guards. He's just not doing it.
That is 100%.
So you've taken away something that the team used to do and do pretty well.
That's it. You got a valid point there. You got a valid point. The Bills, of course, playing against the Jets. I don't think it's really going to matter.
Somebody asked on here if Stefanski said Baker play. Baker's going to play. Said Baker's healthy. Baker's not 100%. Those were Stefanski's words today. I would like to see an entire week of game planning with Case. Just one time against not a great opponent. We got several not great opponents coming up. One time I would like to see one whole week of Case gets the workload, Case gets the practice. We're going to build the program around him for a week and just see what the results are.
Yeah, I think I would like to see that as well.
Listen, I'm not saying Case is the answer to all the Browns' problems. I'm telling you, Stefanski is having to game plan with one hand tied behind his back because Baker is so limited at what he's capable of doing. Not because of injury, but because of what his abilities are.
I think I agree with that. I think having somebody like Case, even though his abilities are limited, I think he's better at reading a defense, like we've talked about before. I think he's a better decision maker.
Yep.
And I think I would like to see him in a spot like this where you may not be super worried about losing the game. Like, obviously, you can lose the game, but
correct.
This is a better spot to go on and bring him in and just see how he does as opposed to toss him in.
And let Baker get a whole week of health. I mean, there's two sides to that coin. You don't get to take shots this week, Baker. We're going to let you sit, and we're going to let you get healthy.
I will say this. I do wonder if they're rolling with Baker because they know that this is a game that they absolutely have to win. Like they understand they can make the playoffs this year. I mean, they're still sitting at 4-2. You cannot lose a game like this. So if I'm the Browns,
so far their two losses are to the Ravens and to the Steelers. And if they lose those 4 games, there ain't nobody else really on the schedule that's scary.
Agreed.
I mean, there are teams that are worse than them that they could still get beaten by, but everybody else is going to be equal to or beneath them in talent.
This is true.
Doesn't mean they're going to win all those games.
No, of course
not. But everybody else outside of those 4 games, 2 more left, that are they're going to be equal to a talent. They don't play the Chiefs. They don't, the Seahawks aren't coming to Cleveland. Like that. I just don't think those teams are on the schedule, and you're not having to worry about it.
Damien jumps in. He said, "What's up? What's up, Damien? Hope good things for your Bears this weekend." Cruz jumps in again. Gary and Chris, my Giants are bad, but at least we're not the New York Jets bad. That's not saying much, but we still are, so I'll take that.
So I've heard a really funny thing this week, or it's about a couple of weeks ago. Cousin Sal has talked a lot on his podcast about he thinks that the New York football teams should combine their pick together and get Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor just plays for the home team every week. So Trevor gets a nice house in New York, and he
never
gets
has to
play with both teams, and he gets 2 jerseys, 2 uniforms, two sets of everything, and yeah, he's just going to play all 16 games at home,
and never has to travel. I like that.
Never has to travel. Never has to leave, say New York or New Jersey, I guess.
I like that. That's good stuff. Matt Miller said, let's see, he's also more mobile to most people's beliefs, contradictory to most.
Yeah.
What are we? Oh, Stefanski.
He's talking about Case. He's talking about Case.
Talking about Case. And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, over Baker.
I got it. Let's see. McKinnon said, Keenum reminds me so much of Fitzmagic and how similar their paths have been. Just solid veteran dudes I'd love to have on any team. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I would love to have Fitzpatrick right now. Love to have Fitzpatrick right now for the Browns.
Now, you have got that right. Muhammad jumps in. Is the Khabib fight over? Well, the fight is tomorrow, but yes, we're done talking about it for now.
Our talk was the first 35 minutes of the show.
You can go back and watch the replay once we're done with the lives. So it is all good. Let's see, what else have we got here? Get Trevor off that ugly green and put him in the big blue. Muhammad, no, the fight hasn't happened. The fight happens tomorrow. It happens tomorrow. So let's see. Damien said Fitz tragic. Why the hatred? Why the hatred?
I don't know.
How can
I'll
anybody?
tell you this: if I was a Bears fan, I definitely wouldn't be shitting on other teams' quarterbacks that are pretty good.
You got that right.
Fitz would be really good in Chicago right now. He's a better quarterback than Foles.
I think he is. Terry said, I hear people saying Lawrence should stay in school one more year so he doesn't go to the Jets. Then others say one more year wouldn't matter because he would still go to the Jets.
He's still going to go to the Jets. Yes. Either way, he's going to the Jets or he's pulling an Elway and an Eli.
Yeah, and he could absolutely do that. Like I
don't know. I don't know that he has that kind of pull or influence. If you're the Jets, the league is different now. Back then, quarterbacks coming out as rookies were making $30 million. That's true. There is a salary structure now for rookies. That ain't happening anymore.
Yeah, you might have a point there. You might have a point. Oh, I was going to bring up the Bills. The Bills, Josh Norman, John Brown, and Cody Ford all out for this game against the Jets.
Go ahead.
Do you think it matters?
Nope.
Like, I think they're still going to house them. Just absolutely house them. Damien said we're good with Foles. Well, I mean, I could understand that. They're 5-1 right now. But, just wait. We'll see. We will see. Matt Miller said, I think giving up Daniel Jones when they have the worst offensive line and one of the worst PFF have ever graded would be dumb. Darnold has been broken by the Jets. It is possible. I will say this. Every quarterback that has played for Adam Gase, aside from Peyton Manning, has been better without him than with him.
Now, Trevor Lawrence is not going to play under Adam Gase, but every quarterback that has gone to the Jets in the last 10 years has also been terrible. So I'm going to tell you this. I think if Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jets, Trevor Lawrence is going to go down in history as a bust.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, they don't know how to build a team there at all.
He's not good enough to fix those problems, and their problems go way deeper, but they're too dysfunctional of an organization. They want to, let's get the big shiny thing and let's not actually fix our problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Saints wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders has COVID, or he's been put on the COVID list. Why is this not a big story? Like all these other, if other teams have one person that's on this list, it becomes this gigantic thing. We're talking about rescheduling games, all this kind of mess. This happens and nothing. It's just like a blurb on ESPN.
Well, what's weird is we don't know that Thomas is going to play either. I don't know what Drew is going to do.
I agree. Like I love my Panthers pick at 7.5.
The Panthers pick from we locked that thing in at 7 and a hook.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's looking juicier and juicier as the week goes on.
Now you have got that right. I mean, there may not be anybody to throw to. I mean, you got Kamara, of course, and he can absolutely take over a game. But
yes, Alvin is a monster. But, I mean, if you only have to stop one monster, I think you can control that monster.
Especially if you don't have to worry about down the field. I mean, that's 100%.
Yes.
So that kind of – I was really curious.
I was shocked. I was very, very shocked at how small the news that was. I saw that come across my little ticker on my alerts today.
It's weird. Really weird stuff. All right, let's move from there into we talked a little bit about Fitzmagic. So now I want to talk about what is going on in Miami. It's Tua time. They announced that Tua Tagovailoa is going to be starting the game this weekend against the Rams. Next weekend, sorry, against the Rams. And I understand, like, it's the bye week. But, like, I'm so confused. The Dolphins are 3-3. They are firmly in the middle of the playoff race. And Fitzpatrick has been playing really well. Like, really well, I thought. I don't know why you would make this move right now unless it is completely – now, I understand if it's completely financial, then that's okay. Because if he hits, like, a certain number of offensive snaps during the season, then he gets, bonuses up to, like, $2.5 million. That's not that much money to me, though.
No, they're not doing it for that. It's not a financial thing. This was always the plan of we were going to make it to the break, to the bye week, and then we were going to put him in. And that way he's got 2 weeks to prepare and build the offense around him and roll with him because they have to see what they have in him.
Yeah, I just – and I get where you're coming from with it. So Terry jumps in and said, your boy Tua getting the start, Gary, are you excited? No, I'm absolutely not excited because his first game coming off of hip surgery or whatever, he has to go against Aaron Donald. Like, no, I'm not excited about that. Like, it's terrifying. It's like watching it's a little different, obviously. But Alex Smith, when he came back, it's terrifying to watch every single play. I feel like I'm going to be like that with this game. I don't know why you do that, and I wonder, like, does this lose you the locker room? Because nobody seemed to know that this was the plan. Like, they didn't talk to any of the players about this. Nobody really knew what was going on, and then all of a sudden they just drop it on them, even though they're right in the middle of a playoff race.
I don't know about the locker room. I mean, I got to think that these guys have been seeing him in practice, and they know what he's capable of and know what he's not. I mean, if the other teams, the other players think, this kid can play, then let him play.
That's true.
True. I mean, we don't see him in practice. We're not that deep or involved in the team. I wish Ryan could get on somewhere else playing as well as he's been, but they have no backup behind him at all, and so they're not going to get rid of Fitz, and that sucks.
Yes.
That sucks for him. And I appreciate his competitiveness. Everybody just works under the assumption that, he's an old guy. He's been in the league forever. And so he's going to be the great person to mentor these young kids. And I liked his response. He was like, what? Like, I got fired. And not only did I get fired, now I got to go get on a Zoom call with the people who fired me every day and the guy who took my place. And It's just like, I want to play. I want to compete.
Yeah.
I like that fiery part in him. I wish they had a capable backup because I'd like to see him on a competitive team.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, if I was him and I was his agent, I'd be on the phone with the Cowboys right now, and I'd be saying trade Andy Dalton for me right now straight up. Because Andy is a capable backup to go back up Tua. And I can go run that Cowboys team and let me have all those weapons. I don't need an offensive line. Have you seen the shit that I've played behind the last couple of years? I'll make shit work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I'd love to see him in Dallas.
We
don't like Dallas.
We saw Andy Dalton last week, and he was not able to put it together. Now, he did come in and look pretty good against the Giants. But, like, that Cardinals defense ain't a whole lot to write home about, I don't think. So, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. The Panthers, by the way, so Damian jumped in. Wait, didn't the Panthers have to close their facility this week because of COVID issues? Yes, they did. They worked virtually on Monday and Tuesday because Michael Schofield went on the COVID list. He's one of their guards. And then cornerback Rasul Douglas is also on that list. Maybe those guys matter. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like Emmanuel Sanders might be a little bigger deal.
Yeah, I do too. Maybe I'm wrong though.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. They did get a couple of guys back. They got Sly and Scott back.
Yeah.
But we're just going to have to deal with this all year. It's just going to be crazy. Jumping through the comments again, Matt said, I think they want Tua to play in meaningful games, and your ultimate goal is the Super Bowl, not the playoffs, and they aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, those rookie deals are short. So you got to get what you can out of them early, and you got to know what you got. So
that's the thing. You have to know, can he play? Regardless of the outcome of the Bengals season this year, they know he can play. All right. Regardless of the outcome of I know the Bills are competing right now, but this is just, year 3 with Josh Allen. They know what they got. Like so many of these, I'm telling you, as a Browns fan, I know what I got. Ask other Browns fans, ask that organization. They don't think they know what they got. They all think they got something special, and we don't.
That's true.
Get enough games in him to where you can tell, is this worth going all in on, or do we flush it and start over?
Maybe it's a good decision. I mean, maybe. But I hate
it for Fitz. Yes. I just wish they were good enough at the backup position where he could go somewhere, because there's lots of teams right now that are quarterback away from being pretty good and still early enough to be in the wild card race for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, any of these NFC East teams, Fitz would be a massive upgrade for all of them.
He most certainly would.
Looking at you, Philly, too.
Looking at Washington, Philly, I mean, you're right, all of them. Like, I don't think the Giants would move off of Daniel Jones right now, but
you don't think so? You don't think if the Giants get the number 2 pick, they're not going to take quarterback?
I mean, maybe.
Okay, if you're going to do that and you have the division in hand, or the ability to take the division, then why would you not?
If you're not getting if Trevor goes 1 and you've got the number 2 pick, do you take Fields?
I would. Or Lance, I would.
Because I think the Giants' biggest issue is their offensive line. So, like, I might would look at Penei Sewell. Well, I mean, they took a tackle
that's fine. Listen, they've got a lot of holes. I'm just telling you, Daniel's not the problem, but he's also not the solution.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Cruz Madrid jumped in and told us that Adam Schefter just reported that AB is going to meet with the Bucks on Saturday. Terry said AB to the Bucks would be an absolute shit show, in my opinion. Yeah, that's Adam Schefter's tweet. Antonio Brown will visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Saturday. Brown is flying to Tampa tonight. He is also in discussions with the Seattle Seahawks. Apparently, Tom Brady has been pushing for it, per Ian Rappaport. Now the team is going to take a closer look. Do you think there's any chance that this happens? I mean, Bruce came out and said in the offseason that they are not going to sign Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but I think that was before he had Tom. Was that before or after?
No, that was after. That was after, because Tom got down there and brought it up, and Arian said publicly, like, we ain't signing him.
No, I think some of this is negotiations, because everybody just assumed he was going to end up in Seattle.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Damian asked, just imagine if Miami drafted Jameis Winston.
They would have cut him just like the Bucs did.
Yep. Jay Ricard, Chris couldn't be more wrong. Having the fight at that time is absolutely the right decision. The United States is not the priority when it comes to Khabib. Most MMA fans don't care about football. That is true. That is true. Most MMA fans are not football fans. That is a late reply.
That's fine.
I'm surprised. Can they go back and watch the beginning of this while we're live?
I don't know what the capabilities are of technology.
I have no idea. That's surprising. But yeah, I understand why they're doing it business wise.
No, I get it. I live in America, and I don't like it.
Matt Miller,
I think it's a mistake.
Matt Miller said the Giants took the worst offensive tackle, Andrew Thomas, in the first round. They need to take the right one this year in the draft. The Giants, that is. Yeah, I think if they don't get a quarterback, Penei Sewell would absolutely fit there. So,
Damian, putting another wide receiver with another shitty quarterback ain't gonna help. You got to fix the quarterback.
You do not want Antonio Brown with a bad quarterback. That ain't gonna help anybody's locker room.
Antonio Brown's and Foles would destroy one another.
Hey, Matt Miller, by the way, said yes, they can. Jay said yes, started late, put a laughy face there, and then Miguel Lara said yes, we can. All right, that's kind of cool. I had no idea that we could do that. So, cheers to that.
But then you missed everything that happened between then and now, unless you're just real far behind on the show. And so in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you'll hear us talking about it.
Yeah, pretty much. McKinnon said, just hope they're not putting Tua in too early. Seen it too many times. It's ruined a ton of good young quarterbacks. Fitz was winning and doing well. Compete this year, but protect your future. I think you just need to know what you got. And the rookie deals, like, that is your best time to win a Super Bowl. Look at Russell Wilson. Look at Patrick Mahomes, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this is the best time. If you've got a good quarterback, you got to take advantage of that while you've got him under a smaller contract so that you can pay all these other guys, right? It's not just the quarterback position that wins Super Bowls. Like, it helps a whole lot, but you got to have everything else there as well. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So, Matt Miller said we can scroll to whatever part of the video we want, just like a regular video. That's kind of cool. I had no idea. Damien said, I would get AB if we don't extend Allen Robinson. I would tell you this. I think AB can still be a problem, especially if he is with a quarterback that he does not trust. So I would.
Agreed. I think he's going to sign with an organization that has a stable quarterback, which is why he's talking to Tampa, which is why he's talking to Seattle. Yes. I think he is looking at places that have stability.
Stable locker rooms, not just the stable quarterback, but like places that can kind of.
AB doesn't give a shit about the locker room. AB gives a shit about the quarterback.
Well, but I think that the organizations that would
that's
would sign
fine, but he's not going just because somebody calls him.
No, that's true. That's true. Joseph jumped in, visiting the Bucs tomorrow. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. McKinnon said, I can get behind that, but let him play some teams that aren't too tough. It's not a fantastic identifier, but can still offer great insight to the future. Yes, true, but they ain't winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, get them in there, figure out what you got, keep going from there, and if Miami ends up bad the rest of the season, then go get somebody else if they need to. Like, it is what they did the same thing with Rosen. Like, they just brought Rosen in last year. Like, they figured out, okay, he's not working. We're going to go draft Tua. It is what it is. Like, look, this is a business, man. It's a meritocracy. Either you're good or you're not. So you better show up. Let's talk about Yannick Ngakoue. This baffled me. This news of him being traded from the Vikings to the Raiders. Now, obviously, the Vikings already had some defensive line issues with Danielle Hunter being out for the rest of the season after surgery. Trading Ngakoue now, it just really surprised me. So here's the deal for it. The Baltimore Ravens have traded for Vikings pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue, adding a critical component to the NFL's stingiest defense. The Ravens will send a 2021 third-round pick and a 2022 conditional fifth-round pick to the Vikings for Ngakoue, sources told Adam Schefter. I'm a little bit shocked. Is this like waving the white flag?
Yes. And the downside is the front office for the Vikings look like idiots because they gave up a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for Ngakoue. So they moved backwards about 50 to 60 picks because their second is going to be a real early second.
Yes, it is.
And the
Ravens.
the third that they just got is going to be a very late third. So we're looking at 50 to 60 picks apart. They just moved back.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. I guess like if he wasn't fitting in the locker room or something, and they just didn't.
You don't care about the locker room. You got one win at this point in time. Locker room's not an issue. Winning ball games is an issue.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out.
Start dumping everybody. Thielen's on the block. Everybody's on the block. One guy's not on the block. Justin Jefferson. He's been the best rookie receiver in the league so far.
Yep, and I believe that you called that, didn't you?
I did. I said he had a chance to. I said all the rest of these guys have more talent than him. They all have more speed than him. He has a chance to be the best out of all of them, rookie-wise. Mainly because I thought he was going to a better team, and then CD went to the Cowboys, but he's on a really shitty team and still just banging numbers.
Yes, he is. Damien said, bring AB and Cap to Chicago then. Darren said, Miami should not play him unless he plays against a bad team. let's see. Darren said, we finally got a playoff team. Yep, that's true. McKinnon, so has Rosen reached Lynch lows officially now? Lynch, like Paxton Lynch, I guess he's talking about?
Yeah. Rosen's done something really smart. Rosen is a practice squad player right now for the Bucs. He is learning under Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians, and Tom Brady right now. And that could revitalize his career.
Yes. That
could give him a shot in 2 years. He can compete for a quarterback position either on that Bucs team or on another team. But he's learning some things. He went to two of the worst situations there absolutely was there. So,
yes.
Matthew Miller wants to shit on my Patriots. We're going to get there.
We'll get there. Let's see. Brown Yeti jumps in. Nice to see the Yeti in here, of course. Matt Miller, hold on. Before I get to that, Joseph Gomez, do you send Cousins to the Browns? The Browns don't want him.
The Browns don't want him.
The Browns don't want him. Stefanski got away from him.
Stefanski would rather have Case than Cousins.
Yes. I think Cousins might just be damaged goods at this point. Like I don't know where he may end up being a backup somewhere after his deal is done, but I don't think he's getting re-signed by any stretch of the imagination. McKinnon said, I'd say Claypool and Lamb have given Jefferson a run for that best rookie wide receiver role. Not over the past few weeks. I will tell you that.
Claypool's got one monster game. That 4-touchdown game is pretty remarkable. He hasn't been consistent.
No, he has not. Miguel Lara, should the Browns trade OBJ?
Probably.
He has not been very good for them.
He's been fine. Baker's not good. They don't have a good quarterback at all.
I mean, that's a massive part
OBJ
of it.
With a bad quarterback is not something you want.
That's true. He's been killing my fantasy league. Killing me.
Oh, yeah, killing them. Last week he killed them. But the 3 weeks before that, he's been great. So shut your face.
Man, I think
3 weeks before that, he's been great.
Was it 3 weeks?
3 weeks straight. He's got a touchdown, and all 3 weeks he's got at least like 5 or 6 catches and monster big plays. Yes. 3 weeks straight, he's been great. He looks bad against the Ravens. He looks bad against the Steelers. Get off my boy.
Your boy OBJ, huh? So Matt, we'll jump into Matt Miller's here right quick, and then we'll close out with the CFB Bowl stuff, right? Chris, we haven't heard too much about your Pats or Pooper Cam from you lately. At least he jumped on the ball 5 years too late. I'm going to let you attack this one.
Do you think that him jumping on the ball in that Super Bowl would have changed the outcome?
No.
Okay. I'm fine then. I'm good. We can move on. No, the Patriots looked really bad last week. We'll see how they look this week. This is a week-to-week game.
Yes, it most certainly is. You were correct about that. Against Pittsburgh, 4.5 fantasy points. Against Indianapolis, 11 fantasy points. Against Dallas, he had 38. Against Washington, he had 9. Against Baltimore, he had 5. And against Cincy in week 2, he had 17. So,
that one against the Cincinnati one was the game he was hurt. He didn't play much.
Cincy, he had 17. Against Baltimore, he had 5. Against Washington.
Well, Baltimore, he's not going to do good. The Steelers is not going to do good.
Washington's got a good defense.
He didn't do good. He also was hurt.
Was it the Colts?
He didn't play a lot. I don't remember all of them. I just know there was a game where he came out before the first half. He didn't come back in. But all the other 3, he's been great. So the 4 wins, 3 of them, he's been unbelievable.
Yep. So
I don't know what you want. You're wanting 30 points a week? You're not going to get that.
No. I just want consistency.
Okay, 11 points a game is consistent. 12 points a game is consistent. Yeah, but you're not going to get that when you play great defenses.
No, that's 100%
with a really bad quarterback. That's not his fault.
Matt Miller said, "I'm just giving you a hard time, Chris."
No, that's okay. No, I'm telling you, we've hashed out earlier the Patriots' woes. They are the only team in the league that practicing every week matters more than anybody else. Yep. Because they don't have a base that they can go to. They can't say, hey, guys, we're shutting the facility down, so we're just going to run our base package offense, our base package defense. They don't have a base to go to. They completely deconstruct the offense and the defense every week to game plan for a very specific team that they are going to play. So when you tell them you have one day to practice, they are not going to play well at all that week. We should have all seen that. I know I should have seen that. I didn't. and now they're back to normal. Will they win this game? I don't know the answer to that, but they're at least going to look like a capable, competent football team because they had a normal week of football.
Which is exactly why I'm betting on the Pats this week.
Nobody else in the league does that, by the way. No, there's not another team in the league that completely deconstructs and builds an offense week to week and a defense week to week. Everybody has base packages that they can go to.
Well, they're basically chameleons, right? Like they can play any style of football.
Any style.
Like you saw against Seattle, like there was a lot of throwing the football in that game. And in other games, there's been a whole lot of running. So they just kind of move from week to week to what the best option would be against the team that they're playing. And I get it. Jay Ricard said, do you think it's possible for a team like the Vikings to get the first pick over the Jets, or are the Jets just so awful it's going to be impossible?
The Jets aren't winning a game. If you have a win, you are behind them.
Yes. I really think the Jets are that bad. Like, they're just – I don't even know how to explain.
I'm not exaggerating. Unless these books do something drastic, the Jets won't cover a game.
I mean, I'm sure they'll cover at some point because I think the line is just going to get so ridiculous.
But that's it. But the line right now, it's 13.5. That's ridiculous in the NFL. Yep. I know you used to looking at college games where you get 23-point spreads all the time. That shit doesn't happen in the league.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be between, like, the best team in the league and the absolute worst team.
The Bills played this team once already, and they beat them by 10. So the fact that it's 13.5 tells you the Jets should cover this game. Yeah, go bet on that. Yeah. I ain't betting on it.
There's no chance that the Jets will get a dime of my money.
No.
Darren said, Seattle versus Tennessee in the Super Bowl, my number one from each conference on my top 25. I mean, that'd be fun.
I would not hate that Super Bowl at all. I would not hate it at all.
That'd be so much fun. Oh, my gosh. You got monsters
like... hang on. I will tell you this. If Pete Carroll gets beat by a team that runs the football the way the Titans do, he's going to be furious.
Yes.
Because that's what he wants to do. He looks at what Vrabel's doing, and he just beats off all day long to it. He is so pissed off that they are throwing the football all over the place right now.
Yes.
He wants to run the ball. He wants to do it.
Matt Miller said, plus, thanks to Vic and his scheming, he's got one of the top 5 scoring defenses in the league with no Vaughn, A.J. Boye, or Jarrell Casey. Cam won't face much better defensively. I mean, he might have a valid point there. Like, the scheming from Fangio is pretty legit, man. It always has been.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for it. So they did have 2 weeks to shut down the Patriots offense, which ain't great anyway. So...
Matt Miller said Adam Gase owes Peyton Manning his soul.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sure. I'm going to tell you this. If I was Peyton Manning, I would stop. Like, I would come out publicly and disassociate with some of these sons of bitches.
Yeah. Let's see. Joseph Gomez said Fox Bet actually moved the line to 11.5. Was that just a promo? Maybe. Like, there's the Jets and Bills line. It's to 11.5. Is that just because of the of Josh Norman, John Brown, and Cody Ford being out?
No, hang on. I'm about to pull it up. I can't imagine that it's 11.5.
That just doesn't
I can't believe it's gone down. Now, I do know that they did name Sam Darnold as their quarterback. Does Sam Darnold move at 2 points? There's a chance. It's 10 across the board right now everywhere.
10?
10.
I will be diving all over that.
Sam Darnold I think it's because Sam Darnold probably is worth 3 points compared to Joe Flacco. That worthless son of a bitch. Jesus.
Let's see. Darren said you cannot lose betting against the Jets. Yeah, that's true. Cruz said, come on, Jets, win 2 games so my Giants can get first overall. You're going to have to hope for some injuries or something going on there.
That's not happening. It's just not going to happen. The Jets are not capable of winning a football game. So if you got to win, congratulations. You're all playing for second.
And you still got good quarterbacks. Joseph said, I wouldn't lie to you. No, I didn't expect you to be lying to us, but that just kind of surprised us. Matt Miller said Cowherd showed the stats under Gase without Darnold, and they averaged 9.8 points per game with 98 yards per game on offense. 98 yards per game with Flacco at quarterback? No way. I think it's got to be more than that, right?
It might not be, which I don't, hang on now. I think that was just last week. I don't know that Flacco and Adam Gase have paired up more than last week. Because
Well, I think
Flacco's come in a couple of times
he's just saying without Darnold.
Well, yes, but Adam Gase has not been there without Darnold other than last week.
No, but Darnold missed several games last year.
Oh yeah, he sure did with the mono.
Yeah. I don't know. Damian said, "Damn, Darnold sucks so bad he could make Trubisky look like an MVP." Nobody is going to make Trubisky look like an MVP.
Darnold does suck.
Darnold does suck.
I did call that, by the way. I did call that. I said there's a world in which none of these quarterbacks are any good. Thank God Josh Allen's good. And I said the only one you want out of this bunch is Lamar. And Gary laughed at me.
I did laugh at you. And it appears that I was wrong. McKinnon said, man, if the Jets end up getting the first pick, I wouldn't mind if somehow the Falcons picked up Darnold. Dude is damn good, but plays for the Jets where anyone would struggle.
The only problem with picking up Darnold is what's he – now here's the downside thing is you could probably get him for a sandwich and a smile. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to demand a lot of money.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe anybody looks good in Atlanta. Like, or at least decent. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win games. Their problem hadn't been scoring points. So
no, their problem has been scoring points.
Well, yeah.
This year recently, they have 3 games where they don't have an offensive touchdown. Yeah, their problem's been scoring points.
That's a valid point. I mean, they did lose to. They scored 39 points and had 0 turnovers against Dallas and lost. So
yes, that is an anomaly. After that, they scored an offensive touchdown in the first quarter of the next game, and then didn't score one for like 2.5 games. It was late into the third game before they scored another touchdown.
That's okay. You got a valid point.
So yes, scoring has been a problem.
That's true. That is true. Cruz said, good thing we're talking about the Jets and not my Giants. One good thing for once. Do you think Dallas beats Washington this weekend? From Darren McCardle.
I'm not betting on it. I like the football team.
I like Washington in this spot. Like what have we seen from Andy Dalton to show so far that he can run this offense? I mean,
that Dallas line is just getting worse and worse.
Matt Miller said 49ers should trade for Matt Ryan. They'd become Super Bowl contenders again.
They shouldn't. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan's not any good. God.
Let's see. Sam Darnold isn't even worth a McDonald's kids meal from Damian. Probably not. Matt Miller said Darnold isn't good. He's average, but the Jets make him look way worse than he is. Probably true. I mean, look, Tannehill was under Gase in Miami, and he goes to Tennessee and becomes a damn MVP candidate. So, I'm not going to say anything's out of the realm of possibility, but either way.
You're right. There is a world in which he gets away from them and looks fine. I don't know where he goes. I mean, I'll tell you this: if I was Kyle Shanahan, I'd be on the phone with his agent just to say, what would it cost if you're willing to come here for nothing, because Jimmy has a history of getting hurt and he's not the most explosive guy, and just see if you can make something out of him.
That'd be cool.
But he's got to come cheap.
Matt Miller said he is way better than Jimmy, Chris. Come on. Then he said Kirk Cousins and Jimmy have stolen their money. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy took him to the Super Bowl last year.
I was just about to say, Jimmy's been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. Joseph Gomez said, Julio, not the same player. No run game is the underlying issue with the scoring. Yeah, that's a lot of it. And then to fix the running game, you bring in Todd Gurley, who has had some pretty good stats this year, but I don't know that solves anything. I think their offensive line's a wreck. They got all kinds of problems there. Let's see, Darren McCardle. Foles is looking like a steal this year. He's the next king. Man, Darren, what games are you watching, brother? What are we talking about here? Good gracious. Look, we've been at this.
5-1, that's awesome.
Yes. We've been at this for an hour. Let's close out talking about college football bowl season. I want to read you some of this press release right quick, all right? Okay. This was absolutely ridiculous to me. It blew my mind. The Football Bowl Association is getting a new name and brand. Bowl season. That's what they're calling it. The debut of the name change, logo, and website for the organization is part of a major brand overhaul announced today by Executive Director Nick Carparelli. The new bowl season tagline, quote, a celebration of college football, embraces the grand tradition of the bowl system and its enduring value to student athletes, highlighting the broader university community, including spirit squads, marching bands, student athletic staff, and fans. bowl season will work with all existing bowls to promote the benefits of the entire bowl system. Carparelli has collaborated over the last 6 months with leaders of the 44 bowl games, each of the 10 FBS conferences, media partners, and other stakeholders to build consensus and solidify plans for the new brand. I am just shocked. They did up a logo, and they made a massive press release and all this about bowl season. That's the name we came up with. Like, who gets paid for this?
A lot of people probably.
I'm just in shock.
And I bet they get a gross amount of money too.
It makes zero sense. And this, of course, they're going to announce it in the year where a lot of bowls have already been canceled, and they're even talking about playing bowl games on campus sites this year. Like, the home team is going to be the team that's got the better record. Like, what are we doing? Joseph Gomez said brand overhaul just means a ton of money to a marketing consulting team to come up with the logo and bowl season. Matt Miller said sell shirts with bowl season and a marijuana bowl on it, and I'll buy it. Yeah, I'd probably buy it too. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, this sport absolutely shits on itself over and over and over again. Like, they make the joke so easy. Like, why? We
don't have enough money to pay players. We got it. Somebody's got to come up with great ideas like bowl season.
It's and the funny thing is that this
do you think over under 7 figures for all of that?
I'd probably go over.
I think it's over as well.
I think it's over. I think they paid somebody a ridiculous amount of money.
You know why they paid somebody ridiculous? Because they have a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah,
and why do they have
nobody
that?
To pay?
They have nobody else to pay. We can't give coaches $10 million a year anymore, so we just got to find other shit to spend money on.
It's unbelievable. Joseph Gomez said, still waiting on the Murder Hornets t-shirt. Yeah, I've got to finish that. It's been busy, man. Cruz said the NCAA is so dumb, it just boggles the mind thinking about this. And this isn't the NCAA. This is a separate entity from that.
Yeah,
so this is
a different group of people attached to college football because there's so much money in college football. Multiple whores have clinged themselves to them.
And I mean, cheers to them.
No, not cheers to them.
No, I'm saying cheers to them as far as like, yeah, look, they were smart enough to figure out, hey, there's a whole field here where we don't have to pay any workers at all, and we can just make ridiculous amounts of money. And until somebody introduces some kind of legislation or something, they won't have to pay players, and it's completely ridiculous.
They all have miserable lives and they all burn in hell.
I mean, it's awful.
I think they're all terrible people.
I would
you run a bomb through that place, you don't kill 10 good people.
I would go along with that.
All terrible people.
Oh, hey,
terrible people.
This so later on in this press release, like at the very end of the press release, it says the new name and visual identity were developed by Connecticut-based 1919 Productions and Joe Bosack, 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 and company. Tony Fay Public Relations, based in Dallas, was hired to oversee communication efforts for the organization. So you've got 3 different organizations that are a part of this. You got 1919 Productions.
To come up with bowl season. Boy, the brain power of these sons of bitches.
Miguel Lara said they used the same consultant for the Washington team. Probably.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
We're going to call them the football team. It's not the Washington team.
No, it's the Washington football team.
It's the football team. Washington is the city. The team name is the football team.
I like it, though. I
do not like it.
All right, are you ready to get out of here?
Dan Snyder is an individual. He can write dumbass checks all he wants because his workers are all highly compensated.
Yes, this is true. McKinnon said, better give my girl Sook some love for me. Yeah, I've got the door shut, and she is dying to get out. So as soon as we get done with the show, I'm going to be going to let her out. Is there anything else we need to hit on?
No.
All right. Go to winningcureseverything.com. Of course, we appreciate you starting your weekend with us. Of course, every Friday at this time, we'll be rocking this junt just like we always do. Go over to the SBR Picks website, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Go over to the Sportsbook Review YouTube page. You can just go to YouTube and search for SBR Picks. And tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be live going over the closing lines for week 8 of college football. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully you all will join us. Make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Make sure you are subscribed to these channels, whichever one you're watching us on, and make sure you are subscribed to the podcast. We'll have our college football recap and reaction show after all the games on Sunday morning. And yeah, we have some podcast exclusives that we knock out over there. You can only get them if you are subscribed to the podcast. You ain't going to find no videos of those things because we don't turn on no lights and we don't, we ain't looking good for those. I'll tell you that. Terry said, like, share, and tell your friends, boys. You got that correct. Tell your buddies about it. Tell everybody you know, whether you hate it or not. Doesn't matter to me. Just tell somebody you know about it. We would appreciate the support. You guys have been fantastic. And you all know what we say at the end of the show. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you again tomorrow morning. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show. Leave a nice